This is a website design case study, and there's a bit of a story behind this one. I went on a retreat back in January because I like to take a week off the kids and life and business. But I went to a cold farm in Devon and didn't eat any food for a week. I came back and I said to my wife, "You should go on a retreat." I expected her to come back with a weekend in Wales, and she said, "I'm going to go on a retreat to Morocco, to the Sahara." I was like, "Okay, that sounds good." Anyway, she went on this retreat and had an amazing time, a really amazing time. And this is the website that she found, which was Morocco Retreat. She'd always wanted to go to Morocco. And this website, if we have a quick look at Google, ranks at #1 for the key phrase Morocco Retreats, which I kind of expect for a website that is called MoroccoRetreats.com. Now, the reason I'm showing you this as a case study is because it's interesting to see the kind of approach we take when creating new websites, because obviously while Katie was out there, she got to know the owners of this retreat and told her what we do, so we ended up redesigning their site, which is about to go live. Now, there are a number of things not really working on this site. Firstly, it's always a big no-no to have a Gmail address on the front page. There's a number of reasons why that's wrong. Firstly, it detracts from trust in the site, and also it leaves you open to spam, because there are spiders going across the internet all the time looking for email addresses to add to their spam lists. It's good that there's Facebook and Twitter there, but there's no phone number. The logo itself, my children could have done. And although the content's good, the pictures are quite nice, it's a bit bare. So, not just a bit bare, but also there are no real pages here that, there's no real content here. And, it's optimized. If you look at the page title, it's optimized for the word retreats, which is far too broad for something as specific as this. So, the first thing we do when we look at a new website, or creating a new website, or redesigning an existing website, is we always go back to starting with keyword research. And in the case of this one, we found these keywords that you can see on this spreadsheet. And then if you refer to another video on keyword research, looking at red, amber, green, and putting your keywords into salt piles, you'll see that's what we've done here. Found these keywords and then created these salt piles in order to create a sitemap with considerably more pages than currently is there. Now, some of these pages are there for user experience, but some of them are there to pick up more traffic on keywords like you can see here: Desert Retreat Morocco, Fitness Retreat Morocco, Luxury Retreat Morocco. All of these pages, all of these keywords need separate pages, but then you can see if you look at Luxury Retreats Morocco and go across, you can see these are actual keywords that we know people have typed into the internet. And that helps us create this sitemap here where we create the URLs. The reason it says the word copy there is because that's just our checklist to see if we've got all the copy for each of these pages, and that's how we work with the clients. And here, the meta keywords are in, this is the page structure for on-page SEO. All of those related to the main keyword that the page is about. And the main keyword, by the way, is usually the keyword that has the most traffic out of that particular salt pile. And then you can see we're doing best practice on the meta title. So we're using the main keyword, and then we're using the branding and keeping that within the 150 characters that you've got available. This particular spreadsheet hasn't got all the other bits on: meta description, budget, ad groups, all that kind of stuff, because it's a work in progress. But this is the basic format. So when we get the copy for this, we then work on creating a new design. And if we have a look at the new design, let's have a quick look at the homepage of this one, just to remind you. So that's the old site. There it is. And the new site, which is going live today, is here. So there are a number of things that we're doing here. The most obvious one is the logo and the images. I think, it's such a beautiful place that you really need to get that across front and center. Also, you can see we've got this fantastic new logo, which is far higher quality, which reflects the quality of the retreat. It's a luxury retreat. It needs a luxury logo. We did toy around with camels and things like that, but the reason we went with this particular highly Moroccan design is because they've currently got a luxury beach retreat, pampering retreat, and a Sahara retreat, but they've got plans to add other ones. So a camel kind of sticks it to the desert and doesn't cover the whole kind of Morocco experience. You can see here we've got a phone number and an inquire now. Now, there was no inquiry form on the existing site. Let's just go check that. The only way you could do it was clicking on that or clicking on the contact form. It's very important to have, I mean, there's not even a form there. So, very important here for us to make sure that it's really, really easy for people to inquire. Front and center, if I click on that, there's the form. This particular form is a Gravity form in WordPress, which is attached to the client's email autoresponder accounts. They're not using Aweber, they're using MailChimp, but WordPress has plugins that allow you to attach those, because what I said to them when we were building this site is the most important thing here is to build a list of people that are interested. And we'll probably improve this Inquire Now form with something free, like a free guide to shopping in Morocco or something like that, just to add a bit of value to it, stack the call, and increase the conversion rates. Because that's another thing they weren't doing, was measuring their conversion rates, because they had nothing to measure. Having a mobile number there is not perfect, but because the owners are based in Morocco and in England, they wanted to make sure that it was coming to a number that would be answered all the time. So one of them has a mobile that is constantly on, so that's the best short-term solution. We'll probably improve that later with an 0844. Now you can see we have this. You might be familiar with some of our web designs, but you've got this top. I call this the top bar, and in here it's an opportunity to create something, use some copy that kind of establishes you, sums up what you are. It's kind of a strap line. On Outward Digital, it says Instant Marketing Expertise since '98, because that's true and kind of introduces you to who we are. Here we put your dreams can come true, because my wife got back from this and she was a changed woman. She really had an amazing time and got a completely different perspective on life. In fact, she's currently trying to get me to move to Morocco. So that is a dream for her coming true. Then what we've got up here is the good stuff. Like, it's kind of the business end of the site, about us, the family. That's what you might see on other sites as meet the team. Testimonials, very important to have those, visible. Contact us form, because some people still like to use contact us forms, and a blog, which the other site didn't have, which is very, very important. You must have an integrated blog. In fact, if you have a site built in WordPress like this is, then an integrated blog is there anyway. But there are a number of reasons for that. You can go and watch my blogging seminar to find out more about that. But if you haven't got 8 hours today, then let's suffice to say that it enables you to target new keywords that you find as you go along, especially if you're running a Google pay-per-click campaign, because that allows you to, using the Dimensions tab in AdWords, allows you to find other keywords that won't show up on keyword research tools, long-tail keywords, and then you can feed that information back into your blog and then start ranking for those keywords, which is a really powerful and simple technique. Not only that, but it means your site is live and not static, which means that Google will love it more. So blog, very important. Easy ways to contact us on every page, top quality logo, and then just laying out the retreats themselves, more information on the parts of the experience, answering the question, why go on a Morocco retreat? Because some people we found frowned when we said we were going to Morocco, because it's some sort of, prejudice against Morocco because it's in Africa, or it's because it's Islamic. I have no idea, but there's a question that needed to be answered. If anybody's finding, the reason that's really there is because we'll be doing AdWords campaigns on this based upon keywords like luxury retreats, and then they come to this site and we want to answer that question before they ask it, if you see what I mean. They've got something here. They're trying to sell some local products as well, and talking about this Good Works thing is really about some of the charity stuff that the people that run this do, and the ecological side of it, because it's an eco-friendly kind of thing. So go down here, and we've got a much smarter, easier format. If I just flick back to the old site, you can see, the pictures weren't uniform. The text wasn't right. One's bigger than the other. It just looks a bit amateur, really. So this is much more professional. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is we have watermarked all the images because we want these images to show up in Google Images, and it's important to have branding on these in case anybody tries to steal them, especially. But on the images side of things, actually, if I just do a right click here, and it's a good way to check how optimized another site is in your competition. And these images have not been optimized yet. They will be by the time we go live, or they will be shortly after it goes live. But if I click Save Image As, you'll see that that image is optimized for the word slide 16, which is useless. A little tip is that you should save your images as for the keywords that you're trying to target. So in the case of this one, that image should actually be renamed as Luxury Morocco Retreats from moroccoretreats.com.jpg, because that's going to give it a much higher chance of ranking in Google Images and all the other image search engines. Little feature here is this is just a WordPress plugin that adds in the weather, which is pretty cool because the first thing you can see is it's a lot warmer than England. So back to the actual retreats themselves. So I'm going to click on this. This is the one my wife went on. This is the Luxury Sahara Camp. I click on Read More. First thing I'm looking for is the page title. La Source Luxury Sahara Retreat from Morocco Retreats, moroccoretreats.com. Not a perfect title. We would probably improve that by just, instead of saying from Morocco Retreats, just saying from moroccoretreats.com, full stop. But important to have branding in your page title as well as keywords. Again, the images are specific to the particular retreat, and there's a lot more content here, lots more content. And that works on a number of levels. It works because Google wants more content in order to give the web pages higher authority, but also it's the customer journey. That's what you really need to be thinking about. Taking some time into writing content that really describes what it is that you're selling and takes the customer on a journey. And then the program's laid out here, all the things that it includes, the optional extras, and then an Inquire Now form. And underneath that, we've got videos and lots of testimonials here, which we pulled together, and other trust elements, like, it's been in The Guardian, won TripAdvisor award. I don't know what that is, but it's means something if you do yoga. And then pulling in the blog entries and having a really good, clean footer that's nicely branded, has all the social stuff and linked to all the pages. Very important is also to have an address on here. This address is not perfect. It's the UK address. I'm going to get them to put the designers to put the Morocco address on there as well. Just a little thing on the blog. This hasn't been optimized properly yet, but you can see that this category is under retreats here. In the blog, we're going to be setting it up so that we have categories related to all the different sort of types of keywords that we're targeting. So there'll be a category for yoga retreats, a category for beach retreats, etc. And then on what we do then is that on each of the landing pages for those specific for the actual pages, not the blog posts, if we go onto a page that is optimized for beach retreats, for example, then whenever they do a blog that goes into the blog category of beach retreats, that content will be pulled into the bottom of the page on beach retreats, which means that by using the blog, we're also making the pages dynamically updated with relevant content, which gives them even more authority, which is pretty cool. So we've got trust elements here. I sent a note out to the designer this morning that I think these logos should actually appear up on these images as well, as long as it doesn't clutter it too much, because you want to get as much trust in above the fold as possible. Above the fold just means before you start doing that. So we've got the Inquire thing at the top here, but we've also got it at the bottom of the page when we've got to the journey. Now if we go back to the original site and click on the original Sahara Camp page here, there is some images and information laid out. It's okay, but it just really looks like a Word document, doesn't it? And then there's the same information, but just not quite as nice. And there's the price lists. Now, I've made the decision here to, if you go back to this page, not have the price list here, and then say Inquire Now to get the price list. Why? Because you want to be building a list, and I learned this 8 years ago when I first put up a price calculator on Topskips.com because I thought, well, people want to get the price, we want to give them the price, we want to be open and honest and everything else. Put it front and centre, we're the best skip hire website in the world. And I did that, and sales halved. Because a price really is a barrier to a sale. And what we're trying to do with this site is create the desire, really. And the same way that my wife went to the original site and was so into the idea of going to the Sahara, the website, in a way, didn't matter to her because she was set on it. And she said, she did say to me that she was worried about it because it was a Gmail address, and would it be safe to send money to these people? So, what we're trying to do here with pages like Here's the Family, which introduces to all the people, is establish more trust. These people are real. They're really lovely. I've met most of these people. They're absolutely fantastic. Actually, that's my wife on a camel. I've not seen that picture before. She looks a bit nervous. She said it wasn't very comfortable. Anyway, so as part of the recce for this site, we went out to Morocco for a weekend for me to have a look at it. And while I was there, I just took my flip camera and got Emma, the person that owns the Riad in Morocco and also runs these retreats with her sister Rebecca, and got them to make some videos because, they had no video content. And this, I'll just show you a bit of this. Waiting for YouTube to load up, which is a common theme these days. Just reduce the quality a little bit. I'm not on a very good internet connection where I am. Something to do with the length of the wire. But this is me on a... See how I'm talking here while I'm waiting for it to load up? It's like Des Lynam at the Grand National when the bomb went off. Here we go. So this is me on the flip.
Here I am walking up.
Do you know what? This might take too long to load up for this video, so I'll just close that down for now. You can go and have a look at that yourself, but you can see that if I go to YouTube on here, I've optimized the video for Luxury Boutique Hotel in Marrakesh, Morocco. And this has had 2 likes, 83 views. You can look at the series of YouTube marketing, but always important to put the URL in first. I'm signed in as Steve Wild, by the way, that's why that picture of Steve is there. 83 views, that's not bad. It's only went up a few weeks ago, and this isn't a large traffic market, so I wouldn't expect much more than that. But these videos, this is also one we did on the Hammam Spa, give, these are free to make. It just takes a bit of time, and you'll notice that I'm using the rule of thirds here on the video because I took both of these videos. So Emma's always left of center, and that's very important. That's a technique in any cameraman watching this will know that technique, but I also take these videos so it's just one take. So click to start, pause at the end, click to stop, so there's no editing involved, and then quick as you like, upload it to YouTube and then embedded on the site. And very low cost, very quick, and just creates a bit more of a, enhances the trust factor, which is important, because always remember about websites that sometimes people try to hide behind logos, whereas really most of it, people buy off people, is what I'm trying to say. There's my wife again, and a really nice picture. And she made very good friends with that woman, Barbara, there, who came to our house recently from Africa. So enhancing trust is really, really important. If I go to the testimonials page, you'll see here, we said to them, look, you must have testimonials, and she has. She's got one from The Guardian there. Some of the people that went on there. There's just lots and lots of testimonials. There's also a testimonial video somewhere, which I'm going to try and find, which should be on this testimonials page. We took a testimonial video of the place while we were there, but it's not that important. What's important here is building the list. That's the secret. Building the list and measuring, using analytics, what the conversion rate is, and AdWords, what the conversion rate is, to find out which keywords make the money. So the design of this site was really the last thing that we did. The first thing was really about the architecture. Getting the architecture right, so it's search engine friendly from the ground up. That's really important. The things that I've just shown you with inquire now buttons and images and positions of these kind of things are things that we've tested over 15 years nearly of building websites. tested in terms of we know that they increase conversion rates to put these things there. Then the client wants an input on the site, and they, we want a white background, we want it to be clean, nice strong images. That's okay, we can do that. But we lead the client doesn't lead us, because we know what we're doing and we know how we can get the conversion rates as high as possible. Because the only purpose of this website, and any website, your website, my websites, the only purpose is to make money. It's to generate leads. It's to get people to take your to respond to your call to action, whether that's buy this now or inquire now. And anything that you can do that greases that wheel is really, really useful, really important. At the same time, at the end of that, once you've put that kind of stuff together, yes, you want a nice looking website, and yes, the website needs to reflect the clients that you're trying to attract, and also reflect the nature of what it is that you're selling. And I think this website does that extremely well, which is why I wanted to show it to you as a case study. If you've got any questions about this site, if I've missed anything, or I forgot to mention this as well, social stuff. Obviously, no likes or anything yet, because it's not even live. It's just on our development URL. But very important you have this, because the more social signals that you can generate, the higher you're going to rank, the higher your page authority. Actually, there is one other thing I just want to mention. If we look at the blog, at the moment, this has been done. I think Liz, our designer, has done some of these posts, because they haven't written any posts yet. But what will happen in here is that these will be changed to being posted by the owners of the site. We've got them to get their Google Plus profile sorted out, and then we'll do a link at the bottom and say about the author, and then we'll get the Google authorship plugin on WordPress in there, and then we'll go to their Google Plus profile, and we'll say that they are a contributor to this site. So every time they write any content, it means that they've got a rich snippet. They'll have a rich snippet in the listings on Google. If you don't know what a rich snippet is, I'll just show you one. There's a rich snippet. There. You see, by me, in this minute circles, gives that more authority. That's interesting, because that changed round from this morning. That was number 1 this morning, that was number 2. So, rich snippets are very important in terms of getting a good click-through rate, but also, you can see that one, that's just a blog entry that outranks all the other digital marketing agencies in Cheshire, none of which have Google Plus profiles or authorship. Hang on, that might be why. Let's do that. No, that's good. Homepage number 1 is better. So I hope I've given you a little bit of insight into the kind of approach that we take when designing websites. Repeating myself, it does go back to the architecture first. Always about the architecture, keyword research, getting the sitemap right, writing the content, keyword-rich content, but with the customer in mind, not with the search engines in mind. A structure that is easy and clean to navigate from a user's point of view, but also one that's easy and clean for Google to send its spiders through. A blog, critical, integrated blog, being optimized for new keywords as you find them as you go along. Social media built into it, testimonials, trust. These are all the things that you need to build into your sites. So if you have any questions about this video, this sites, feel free to put them in the comments or email us at team@atwooddigital.com, and we'll be glad to answer them. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.